Do you want to know why you clicked on this video? I'm going to tell you exactly why. See this here behind me? That's your house. That is your house. That is the way you build in Minecraft. And because of that, you are a disappointment and a failure to everyone you know. Let me fix that. Hello and welcome back to another video from the one and the only Mr. Cool Plays here. And yeah, in today's video, we're going to talk about some ways that you can improve your builds and yeah, just overall just get a bit better at building. So I might as well get straight into it. The first tip is variety. Don't forget how many blocks you have at your disposal. Just go into your menu and just have a nice look around. Like, look how many blocks we have. So much variety. Yeah, don't be afraid to use the greens and the blues and the oranges in your builds. Yeah, just get the blocks. You know, you have all these different wood types. Yeah, you have all these different blocks that belong into their respective color. You have all of these blocks like trapdoors and stuff, you know, have different shapes and have different shades as well of different colors. So you have plenty of variety. A very good example of variety is on the Hermitcraft World Downloads, which is going to be a trend throughout this video because I'm not nearly as talented as the hermits are. And yeah, so what I have in front of me is Pearlescent Moon's Hermitcraft Season 9 base. Look at this base. Pearlescent Moon's base is an amazing example of variety, honestly. Look how many blocks she has. I mean, she has so many, like she got all these different colors, the blue and the orange and the pink and the purple and all of these different colors, and like just look at the variety of block. Like she doesn't just stick to one block. And something I just noticed actually is that look at this tree. She used glazed terracotta, purple and amethyst for a tree. I mean, come on, like she's really thinking outside the box here. Like, when do you ever think of glazed terracotta and purple when you're building a tree? But it works so well. The next thing I would like to share with you is when you're building like a house or something like that. As you can see here, I didn't really bother building the back of it. I just want to show you the front. As you can see, I built a nice little oak house, and yeah, it's pretty out of oak, nothing too special. You have a door, you have some windows, you have a nice roof. You could live in this. I mean, it's not, yeah, it's a bit bad, isn't it? So how do we improve this? Well, the next thing I want to talk about is shape or depth. Remember, Minecraft is a 3D game, okay? It's 3D. Okay, we have all the 3 dimensions. You know, you can look at it from the side, you look at it from the front. We're not doing pixel art here. We're doing depth. Don't be afraid to use a few more stairs to add a little overhang as a roof. And your roof doesn't have to be a classic A-frame like that. It can also have a little bit of a different shape to it. You can also have the door and the window. The window doesn't have to be glass. It can be like a fence post I like to use a lot, but you can also use glass panes and such. Make sure not to put the door like this, you know, that's too flat, that's too boring. Put the door back, you know, just to add some more depth. And add a frame. Keep the frame 1 block away from the wall, and then keep the overhang. So that's basically a 2-block overhang. It's gonna look great. And yes, I found a great example of it on the Hermitcraft server as well. Tech. I mean, come on, look at this. Look at this build. See this? Look at the shape of this. I don't want to sound like Ed Sheeran or anything, but I mean, man, I'm loving the shape of this, man. This is an amazing castle. Just look for 1 second at just this, like, these, what are they called? These little spiky things. Like, look at the shape of them, man. And this whole castle, like, you could have just built a regular castle. But look at all of these shapes and all these twists and turns and all of this detail, man. Like, it's sick. It's like, how do you even come up with this? You see, this is where big builds come into hand. You can't really make this sort of a complicated looking thing with a small build. It needs to be really big for it to look like this. And it looks even better at night. I mean, come on. The next thing we want to do is detail and variety of blocks. So, as you can see here, we took this and we went to this. This is basically the same house, but I grabbed some more blocks and added on some more things. So as you can see, you have a lantern here to light up the build. We have a different sort of, we have a spruce door now because those look the best. We have a nice little pot You know, vegetation adds a lot of color. Coloring is very, very important. You know, add color. Also, make sure it's not all just one block. You know, you can add some different blocks with some more texture. Texture is very important as well. And a little sort of smooth transition. As you can see, we've got this brown mud, and we sort of bring it to this granite. As you can see, is this granite? Yeah, it's granite. We also changed the roof to a sort of dark color, and we added some like mangrove logs here. I don't know if that looks better with the mangrove logs or if it doesn't, but I think it does look quite nice with this. And again, it doesn't all have to be symmetrical. If you like symmetry, that's your thing, yeah, that's great. For medieval builds, I don't think symmetry is the way to go, or rustic style. I think symmetry can be good, but it's better with modern builds and such. We also have a nice little chimney up here with some vegetation again to add that little saturation, to add that color, to add that contrast, you know. And of course, detail. We have the smoke coming from the chimney, quite a big chimney for such a little house. We have some lanterns, of course, to light up your builds. Some plants, they serve no purpose but to make your build look better. That's detail. This next house, that is over detailing, okay? This is a mess. This is loads of blocks thrown together. You got the coral, you got these mossy stone bricks, you got the cobblestone. There's plenty of people who actually build like this. They added too many leaves, it looks like it's too overgrown. They added birch in here as well, and stairs and dark oak, completely different colors. So much mangrove and so many buttons. Like, what are the buttons for? Is this like a piston door? No, it's not. Also, with builds, you want to group blocks together. Like, so say here we have these brown blocks. The blocks are on this side, and these reddish blocks are like on this side. This is all mumbly jumbly, all bumbled up into one. Like, you got the terracotta here, you got the bricks here, you got the polished granite there. They work together, but not in this sort of format. And if you're a very small wall, then there's no point really using all these many blocks. You only need 1 or 2 blocks to detail a wall of this scale. And so when it comes to texturing, I don't think there's anyone better than the amazing B000100. I mean, come on. See this? And he's even using paintings. He's even using paintings on the side of his wall. Like, how crazy is that? Like, if you just look at this for a second, like, she's showing erosion and he's slowly blending colors together. And heck, he even got his own face somehow on his build. I mean, adding decay to your build. Yeah, it's funny. It's the exact opposite of what you want to do in real life. But as you can see, time and time again, adding decay to your build is what you want to do in Minecraft. In real life, you're trying to make it look like your house is new and it's painted and it's fresh. In Minecraft, you want to do the exact opposite. You want to show decay. You want to show decay. And this roof, I mean, come on. And of course, don't forget, you know, this is not how you have to build your house. You know, there's plenty of different styles. You can go for modern, where you don't have to worry about framing or texturing. You just build a fancy looking shape. And yeah, this is like my first go at modern. I really like the style. Then you can also go for medieval. This is a tiny little tower I made with a little gradient from a deep slate to tough to stone. I think this is a bit too small of a tower for this much of a gradient. So maybe you won't make the tower like that tall. You can go for fantasy, you can go for pirate style, steampunk, all sorts of different styles, suburban, you name it. There's lots of different styles you can build in. Choose the one that's easiest. For me, it's medieval because we have a very large variety of blocks to work with. But you go you. Next thing I would like to talk about is saturation or color. Just add some color to your builds. You don't need it all gray. Like, gray is very nice, but I like that spot of gray in there, and maybe add some green and just add some color to your builds. As you can see here, I got a very vibrant looking build here. Yeah, I actually took inspiration from Gemini Tay on the Hermitcraft server. It's like a fishing house or whatever, and a little bit of green as well. I really like this. So what you want to do is you want to get like some blocks that slowly sort of transition into each other. You could say in a gradient, which gradients are very, very important as well. But what you want to do is you want to pick like some vibrant colors. Like, you could just do stone or something like that for a roof, but I think it looks very, very nice if you took like some moss, green concrete powder, blocks of bamboo, and some bamboo planks, and just this little transition here, this spot of color, that is so nice on a build. That will bring your build straight to life, honestly. The more, I think nowadays, building is all about getting your colors right, okay? It's all about texturing. You get your blues and you mix them all together. I don't know if this looks that good. It's very small wall, so maybe that doesn't really look that well, but it doesn't matter. You get your colors. If you get your colors right, your build is right. Same with the roof. It's very vibrant. And with this build, it's like a very sort of fantasy theme, you could say, and you see you have lots of cyan, and then that transitions to purple and magenta. I would say this looks very, very nice. I added some amethyst to add some depth to it as well. So I had these little amethyst clusters on it as well, and some glow lichen to smooth the transition between the cyan and the magenta or purple, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, we're back on the Hermitcraft server for this one. I have found the perfect example of this. Also, isn't this fun to look at? Okay, sorry, off topic. That was fun. False symmetry. This is probably one of the coolest bases on Hermitcraft, and I'll say that every single time, but it's true. Okay, this look at this base for a second. Just take it all in. You see the roof, you see that? Oh, it's magnificent. It's amazing. And the gradient, here's a very nice example of gradient. It goes from dark to light to dark again, which in this case looks absolutely amazing. And the roof though is what I'm here for. And this is, oh, it's so good. It's so good, it's sick. It really is. And like, again, you're meant to look at this from afar. So you look at this from here, it looks amazing, you know, and even at this, like, that's great. But if you take a zoom, you notice, oh, it doesn't look so cool anymore. It still looks cool. It's you can see that you're using the logs and you have the glazed terracotta. You see from the distance, you can't see the swords. It doesn't really look like, you know, it just looks like a color, you know. You're meant to view gradients and stuff from afar. You're not really meant to look at it from straight on. It's so good. Good job, false symmetry. Now the next tip I want to show you is to be OG, okay? To be creative. Come up with a build. Don't just, I mean, you could just build a house. I'm not stopping you from building a house. Houses are okay. But why don't you build a fancy looking tower that looks like it's about to fall down? As you can see here, I made like this sort of tower. And it's like, it looks very, very unstable. And I even have my bed hanging here, which is the most impractical place to sleep, but I like the way it looks anyway. And I added some cars up on the top for good measure. And as you can see, like, this could be a fully functional base. And yeah, I think building in Minecraft is all about being creative. Like, just have your own idea and just build it. Like, don't follow a tutorial or anything. You don't have to copy my houses or anything. Just come up with a build and build it. And I just want to show some tips of, like, for this sort of thing. I don't know what style this would fall into. Maybe like rustic style. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it looks like a very sort of wobbly tower. You know, you wouldn't want to be living up on the top there. It's very wobbly. And of course, you have the cars, and it just looks like it's going to fall over. The key here with this build is that it looks like it's going to fall over, but it doesn't look like it's falling over. You know, like it's going to fall over tomorrow, but it's not falling over right now. Like it's not too slanted to the point where, okay, that tower is falling over. Yeah, I honestly really enjoyed this theme. Can be a bit heavy on the brown, but I think that's the idea with it, isn't it? What about another example of being creative? As you can see here, I have a treehouse right behind me. Now I have to go from this side because from this side it's an E house because I made it the wrong way around. But yeah, it's a tree house. As you can see, that's the number 3 there, and it's a house. It's a very nice house. If you're playing on a server you like puns, you know, build a treehouse, mate. Build a treehouse. You go up, and it's fully practical as well. You got the music. Put Strad on there, right there. You have a ladder that you can go up. You have a bed you can sleep in. You know, it's practical, and we even have a little chimney up on the top. So yeah, just be creative. Or you could also build a little platform hanging out of a tree. I think this would look very nice in a Megataiga biome, in my opinion. Again, this is a very impractical base. You can get up it. I made it so that there's a ladder. But yeah, this is just like an example, you know, something you can whip up in the first few days of a Minecraft world. And finally, like, the last tip I would like to show you is make sure your builds tell a story. You know, they don't all have to tell a story, but for this build here, this build tells a story. I really like when build tells a story. So as you can see here, we have a house. Yeah, and I was gonna say, you know, like you could be creative, you could build your house on the floating island. No, I build my house under the floating island because everyone builds it on top of the floating island. So I thought that'd be great when building under the floating island. And now we have a rope and it's attached to like a post. And here we have another house that's not under a floating island. As you can see, this one is like very desaturated and very dark, and this one is very, very saturated. Very nice orange transition, very nice. From orange to blue it goes. Sandstone to make it look brighter, and we added some lanterns as well, and the grass is greener. We added some moss here, and as you can see here, we have a floating island, floating chunk of land being held up by a hot air balloon. Now I would like to say, okay, like if you're building fantasy, forget what I'm trying to say, okay, forget it. But if you're building any other team, you want to make sure that your builds look like they are supported. Like you want to make sure you don't just want a floating roof or floating house. You want to put it on a tree to make sure that it's being supported. It's not just floating. You know, I want to make sure these builds, for this build, you want to make sure that it has those 4 pillars. You know, if it was just fence posts, it would look too top heavy and it looked like it's going to fall over, so it wouldn't work. You want to make your builds look realistic. You want to make them look like they are being supported somehow. For this build, yeah, I mean, maybe the hot air balloon is too small to support this sort of big patch of grass, but like you get where I'm going here. And this build tells a story. So we have a hot air balloon, we have a land tied to the ground, to a post. We have a house that's like very desaturated with lack of sunlight because under the shade of this big boulder. And this house is nice and vibrant and saturated because it's in the sun. But then what's this? We found we have a pirate ship that is shooting a cannonball at the hot air balloon. And this build tells a story because we know, like we can see, oh no, the pirates have come. They're going to shoot this, and they're shooting at the hot air balloon. What happens when the hot air balloon pops? The whole thing falls down on this house. So this build tells a story. Okay, so this last tip is for anyone that plays on the multiplayer server, or even just single player, just that anyone just plays survival. Okay, watch this. They're all lit up. They are all lit up. Look at that, see? They're all nicely lit up. Guys, it's possible, okay? I've been on multiplayer servers so many times. No one lights up their builds. Light up your builds, it's so easy. It's so easy, look at me. Look at this behind me. They're all lit up. All lit up. And it's not even that visible, really. You can hide it under like a carpet or something over there. That's what I did with the modern house, you know? Just light up your builds, mate. Come on. You want a creeper to come and destroy them? I know they were ugly in the first place, but come on, mate. Light them up, okay? That's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching if you did. Make sure to do all that YouTube stuff, you know what to do, mate. It's been all from me, Mr. Cool Plays, and I'll catch you again in another video. But yeah, that's all from me. Adios, amigos.